Hello everybody, welcome to twitch.tv/jchensor, aka the Chensor Dynasty. I am your host, James Chen, aka jchensor himself. We are here for an episode of the Chen Reaction, and what a Chen reaction we have, alright? You want to see my reaction to this? That's my reaction, okay? Because seriously, we've got a big one here, and that is that ArcSys has announced some really cool stuff. Let's take a look at their announcements here. Alright, so their first thing they said, closed beta signups for Guilty Gear StrIVe have begun. For details, please check the official website. Signups via this website will be decided by lottery, so there is no guarantee that you will receive a beta code. How cool! We've got ourselves a beta! Is that one of the coolest things? No, there's more that they announced. Okay, so 2 out of 3. They said, those who filled out surveys at Arc Revo 2019, Frosty Faustings, Evo Japan 2020, and JPO 2020 do not need to apply, as you are guaranteed a beta code. We will be contacting event survey registrants and lottery winners via email after April 13th. Hey, cool, so if you filled out one of those things, you get in automatically. Is that what I'm excited about? No. Because then they said 3 out of 3. Oh, by the way, Rollback Netcode. Oh my God. Oh my God. Rollback Netcode. Now, where did they say this here? They added a little bit of extra information over here somewhere. And I'm trying to see if I can get this information for you guys here. The press release. For those of you who don't know, I mean, we've been talking about this netcode stuff for a long time because Rollback Netcode is clearly the preferred version of netcode. Now, they said the beta will be delay netcode as it has been planned originally, but the intention is that the official release will have Rollback Netcode. I don't know if you count this as the first anime fighting game with rollback. If you count Skullgirls or like them's fighting herds or something like that, because maybe you can count those as anime fighting games because they're kind of similar. But man, God, it's happening. It's happening, and you know what? You guys made it happen. You guys absolutely made it happen because, like I said, I had heard rumblings that all the surveys that were being taken at Frosty Faustings and at, Arc Revo Worlds, that the replies were overwhelmingly in favor of having Rollback Netcode be super important. And if that didn't happen, I don't think this would have actually happened. If you guys did not do your diligence in making sure you said Rollback Netcode was so important, I don't think that this would be happening. And good job, people. Good job to you guys, because if we get this Rollback Netcode for Guilty Gear StrIVe, oh my God. Now, again, for those of you who are watching this maybe for the first time, what's the difference between delay-based netcode and rollback netcode, and why is it so important? Well, the idea is that delay netcode, when two games get off of sync of each other, so there's the whole concept that that when two matches connect against each other in a peer-to-peer connection, so my computer, your computer, when they talk to each other like this, they sometimes can get out of sync. Messages can be lost, your inputs disappear, and that's just the nature of networking. You cannot prevent that. So what happens is that normally, traditionally, in most online games, Rollback Netcode was designed specifically for fighting games. Normal netcode is that stuff will happen and then one guy will go ahead of the other person because this person's missing your inputs over here. So what happens is this guy has to catch up a little, and then people keep getting out of sync. And whenever that happens, whoever's behind, whoever's ahead, basically, I'm not sure the exact technical details, but I think it's whoever's behind then, you know, when they hit their buttons, what they hit doesn't input until a few frames later. So it basically delays your input, so that a lot of the times, my first experience with fighting game online was CVS2 on the Xbox, the original Xbox. When Ken whiffed his uppercut, went Shoryuken. If I hit the button to punish him when he landed, it was too late and they could always block. I literally had to go Shoryuken, hit the button here, and then the delay would occur, and then the button would come out and I'd actually hit him. But I hit the button way up there, whereas if I played offline, I would hit it way when he landed like normal. So delayed netcode forces you to play the game. You have to hit buttons earlier to accomplish what you want to do. So what's happening on screen is a lie. You can't rely on that. If someone dashes, so I played Zangief because I just did roll spinning pile driver. Because by the time you saw the roll and you hit the button, even if you hit the button on time to react visually to Zangief rolling at you, the delay netcode would make your button actually come out a few frames later. So you would roll up and SBD people and there was no way they could stop you. So I definitely played Zangief and used scumbag netcode tactics. What rollback netcode, however, does is that if you get out of sync, rather than delaying one of the players so that they can catch up, so that the two can be synced again, what they always do is they just record the state of all the inputs and they take basically save states of the game. Whenever something gets desynced, when they try to resync it up, they'll go, oh shoot, these two games are desynced right now. One I think is over here and one's over here, but I missed all these inputs. So rather than delay anybody so that they can catch up, what I'll do is I'll go back to the last known state that we were at, which was down over here, take these inputs and replay everything that happened as if the inputs were done on time, and then snap the game into a true state. It'll actually rewrite history essentially and put it in a natural state. Now, when implemented badly, that's when you see all the jumping occur, and that's why you'll see someone go block and then they get hit, or they get hit and then they block and stuff. But when implemented correctly, this happens so frequently and so quickly that you very rarely see the rollbacks. But what this allows you to do then is to trust your visual reactions. If you see Zangief roll and you hit the button on time, if one person's inputs get lost in network and Zangief spinning pile drives you because you didn't hit it in time, the game will go, oh, wait a second, he did hit a button. I just got that information. It'll go back and then make sure that you did hit the button on time and stop Zangief out of his roll before he can spinning pile drive you. Now, like I said, that creates this weird, you know, bounciness and jerkiness that we see in Street Fighter V, but when implemented correctly, as we see in Skullgirls, as we've seen in Killer Instinct, as we've seen in Mortal Kombat 11, as we've seen in them fighting herds, and as we've seen in Fight of Animals, and you know, Punch Planet, and all these other games that utilize GGPO, when implemented correctly, we don't see that, and it's super smooth and it's super amazing. So, this is the announcement. All of ArcSys's games, including Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, including Dragon Ball FighterZ and BB Tag that have all just come out, have all been delay-based netcode because the internet infrastructure in Japan is vastly superior to the US. Japan is a tiny country, so the travel distance of information is not 3,000 plus miles from Maine to California like it is in the United States. And so for them, for the longest of time, delay-based netcode worked properly. If you guys watch any of their online, like Street Fighter Online tournaments, it runs so smooth and everyone looks like they're playing offline. It's crazy. But it never worked for the US because our infrastructure is poor, our distances are farther, and so Japan has never been very good at implementing rollback netcode. And in fact, when they do implement it, we get Street Fighter V. Now, Capcom has definitely improved on that. MVCI netcode was friggin' brilliant. Just no one played that game because it got kiboshed by the internet very quickly. And yes, I still blame social media for the kiboshing of MVCI. But ArcSys has never implemented it. And now ArcSys is saying we are implementing rollback netcode. You don't understand how big this is. This is the first Japanese developer, not Capcom, to really change this and do this. And I'm sure the Mark of the Wolves that came out and got updated by Code Mystics into rollback netcode was a factor, because that game suddenly spiked in sales and suddenly spiked in the amount of people playing that game because it was playable online. I was just playing some Grand Blue Fantasy Versus online against guys that you see in the chat. I played against Gundam Jehudi Kai, and it was 7 frames of delay. Now 7 frames is a little over 1/10 of a second and doesn't sound like much. It's a lot. If people do universal overheads and you stand up and block it in time, you don't stand up and block it in time. It's really crazy. It's really, really tough to play on delay-based netcode when it starts going bad. Rollback netcode, man, if implemented properly, is amazing. And so that ArcSys is willing to take the time. So take Guilty Gear StrIVe, which was originally developed for delay-based netcode. And again, netcode is not something that you can just go, oh, hey, here's the, netcode is not something where you're just like, here's delay-based netcode, all right? So I'm going to plug in the USB, here's my delay-based netcode. Oh, you know what? I want to do rollback netcode instead. So you unplug that and you plug in rollback netcode instead, right? That's not that simple. It's not just as straightforward as that. There's a lot more to it than just unplugging it. You have to do a lot of work in order to change your game to be rollback fit. So the fact that ArcSys is willing to take Guilty Gear StrIVe, which is in development, which has already been in development, which is probably very far along in development because we've had playable demos, which means the game is very far along. You can't even imagine how much work you have to go through before you can even get to a remotely playable demo. If you have a playable demo, the game is practically like 80% done, I swear, in my opinion, because you've gotten a lot of stuff working. Now it's just tweaking all the mechanics and everything like that and changing UI and graphics. The fact that they're willing at this point in time to go back, take out the birds? Take out the delay netcode and push in the rollback netcode and tie it in and wire everything up together is a huge, huge message from ArcSys that they hear us and that they understand how important it is and that they want us to be happy. Oh my, like seriously, I'm just like, there's that one scene where Aladdin tries to describe to the genie about Princess Jasmine, and he's like, oh, and you know, but she's got this smile, and her eyes, and oh. Like, that's how I feel right now about talking about ArcSys, Guilty Gear StrIVe, and rollback netcode. I'm just sitting here going like, so, you know, and they took out, and then they actually, and I'm so happy. You don't understand how happy I am about this rollback netcode announcement. Now, of course, there's going to be some... Okay, so you did hear the birds. At least somebody's heard the birds, so they know what I was talking about. Obviously, there is a monkey's paw potential here. You know, from The Simpsons, there's a monkey's paw potential here because, as I said, if poorly implemented, rollback netcode can be awful. Street Fighter V's netcode has been something that we've had to put up with as opposed to enjoy. Street Fighter V has implemented rollback netcode, but they have done such a poor job of it that many matches were unplayable for 4 years. They just recently released a fix, and it fixed some things, but it's still pretty bad. And when you play very, very bad matches, you just get the you know, that's the kind of game that you play, and it's really awful, and you do not enjoy it at all. So the whole thing is, do we have a monkey's paw thing, and that ArcSys will create rollback netcode and it sucks? We don't know. We have no idea. But there's a lot of resources out there for ArcSys, and I have never known ArcSys to half-ass anything. They can make mistakes, such as the BB tag and the Dragon Ball menu being the walk around lobby thing, which was not like, I get the why they implemented it and they try to do something cool, but that didn't work. As you can see in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, they went back to the Guilty Gear Xrd style, which is, hey, regular video game menu, and only when you create a room do you have this cool little lobby screen. That was, see, ArcSys knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing. But again, and even if they make game decisions like Danger Time that are like not exactly what you want, it doesn't matter, because they, like the graphics thing that they do, right? The 2D and artwork stuff that they've made is so beautiful, and they're so good at it. And I really just, you know, knock on wood, no monkey's paw things, I really have a lot of faith in ArcSys to be able to do this correctly, okay? So I do believe that ArcSys will be able to do this correctly. And even if they do it badly and incorrectly, do we think it's going to take 4 years for them to try to make an improvement? Come on. Come on. I mean, supposedly in April, the patch for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is already going to take out the proximity guard bug. And so, you know, they're on top of things. So hopefully they're doing it. Zynac is working on, oh, so we actually have people who are helping out with this. So according to D-Sky, Zynac is working on the netcode. So we have good feedback from US players here as well. So that's awesome. So we'll have people trying to help, you know, quality control it, test it, make sure it works. And if they're going to test the rollback netcode, they better test it in America, because America is where it's going to be needed the most. Oh, Zynac worked on KI from what people said. Okay. Because I was about to say, too, there's also a lot of good resources out there, too. Tony Cannon, who created GGPO, has already put out their original GGPO, which was the originator of rollback netcode. Tony Cannon already put all of his code out for free on GitHub under the MIT license, so anybody can use it and use it as a basis. So ArcSys already has that for them. It's going to take a lot of work to be able to, you know, integrate it into their game, but they have a lot of the experiences and bugs that Tony Cannon has gone through. And hopefully, I haven't looked at the code, but if Tony Cannon commentated it well, at least maybe he can explain like why some of the bugs happen, like this is here to prevent this bug from happening, you know, and that way ArcSys has already kind of a head start. There's a lot of resources out there. You know, you've got guys like Mike Z, you've got guys who have worked with rollback netcode all over the place. I'm sure Tony Cannon would be more than happy to help if Riot actually lets him. I don't know if that would be contract breaking now that I think about it, so maybe Tony Cannon couldn't help. But still, there's a lot of resources out there, and GGPO is browser-based GGPO? Someone actually made a browser-based GGPO called Red GGPO? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's cool. Okay. But yeah, it's just, I can't even explain to you how happy I am about this. Now, do I even dare? Can I even put this idea in everybody's head to create the ultimate disappointment? Do I even want to suggest this? They have experience now ripping out delay-based netcode from their game and swapping it in for rollback netcode. So that means it might be easier for them with this experience to go back to some of their older games like Grand Blue Fantasy Versus and Dragon Ball Fighters that maybe it could be something they could go back and think about doing. Oh, okay, no. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say on that topic. Probably not gonna happen. Probably not gonna happen. But man, if they did that, oh boy. Because, I mean, we've already been seeing a lot of the grumblings about Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Some people are saying that they just can't even play it online anymore. The Samurai Showdown community is suffering badly because the netcode is so poorly implemented that a lot of people have just decided that they're just going to stop playing the game. You know, some people are just like, oh, well, I'm not going to play this anymore. I retired from Samurai Showdown because the netcode is so bad. Man. If they, oh geez, yeah, I mean Grand Blue 2.0, right? So that's the thing for season 2. Obviously, it's not something that I expect to happen soon. But if they just if Grand Blue once it gets to season 2 next year, NRS did it with Mortal Kombat. Cygames is the kind of company that would have the funds and the cash to do something like this, you know. At least Grand Blue. At least Grand Blue. I mean, Dragon Ball is already in its 2nd season. Maybe not quite yet. I'm sorry, it's already in its 3rd season now, right? Is Dragon Ball in its 3rd season now? Yes, right? Because we've had 2 world championships. Yes, it's in its 3rd season now. No, buy Grand Blue right now. Learn it right now. Learn it right now. So that, God, man. Hey, thank you, Spliced Helix. Thank you very much. Trying. It helps when you... And again, I'm not saying that I don't eat as much as I did before because I'm broke and, you know, and I'm running out of supplies at home. I'm intentionally not eating as much. I've definitely shrunk my stomach a lot so that I am definitely... just intaking less calories. But Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is very, very fun. So, hey! Suck my nuts, Bane! Suck my nuts, Bane. You know what the sad thing is, Atomic Number? Is that I've barely played Ring Fit. After I bought Ring Fit and decided that I was going to use it a bunch of times, that's when I started going into hardcore streaming and then hardcore editing and then hardcore uploading and all this stuff. And seriously, literally, I have like no time. I don't have time for Ring Fit anymore. Ring Fit is fun. They do a great job with it. It's actually a really, really well-designed game, very smart. But I'm heading into the Ask jchensor section here at this point by accident. So let me just conclude here with this whole thing on the Guilty Gear StrIVe. By throwing Guilty Gear StrIVe into the realm of rollback netcode, I really feel like this is the beginning of the future for Guilty Gear. Because, I mean, obviously a lot of people out there aren't really fans of the some of the gameplay changes. But I've seen a lot of people say to me on Twitter, they're like, well, now that they're adding rollback, this just went from I don't care about it to I'm definitely pre-ordering this game stance. And because it is going to be more neutral heavy, it might actually be good for people to bring people into the Guilty Gear universe. This could be, honestly, and again, do I dare do this, but if the rollback netcode is good and the game is just still good overall, this could be the beginning of the biggest Guilty Gear insurgence and growth of player base in all of Guilty Gear history. It has so much potential to do so many wonderful things. Now, do I expect it to become the main game of the fighting game community? Probably not. But if we can get it up to the point where Guilty Gear StrIVe is played as much and has as much entry numbers as Street Fighter V and Tekken 7 is always in the mix with all those games, it'll be, oh God, you know, finally Guilty Gear will be in that position that its rightful place that it's deserved to be in this whole entire time. I have, and this is crazy because I've had for like a month, like a bunch of direct feed Guilty Gear StrIVe footage that I was able to capture, and I just haven't had time to sit down and edit it and voice it over and put it up on the internet. But I'm definitely going to be doing that very soon, so we'll be able to see a few of the things about some of the characters and everything. So there's going to be some cool stuff there. I haven't had a chance to put it out yet, but that should be coming out if I can sit down and have time to edit it, or if I can throw it to an editor with a script or something like that, and they can try to edit it and we can see how it goes. But again, I am so happy for Guilty Gear. And yeah, obviously this is a crazy year this year, and so it's going to be hard for anything to have its biggest year this year, but can it? And by the time Guilty Gear StrIVe comes out, it'll be late in the year. Hopefully we should have things under control here in the world. Please? Because it would be nice to be able to start traveling and have some work again and be able to do some commentary again. That would be super cool. But there you go. So, super stoked, super happy about this. All of you should be super happy about this. God, I'm excited. God, it's like the best news that we could have gotten in all this time. So, that's all here for the Chen reaction. What I'm going to do is jump back to the title screen and then come back again for the Twitch audiences, but start over again with a new introduction for all the YouTube audiences. But for those of you on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like, and if you tell us about how much you love the content that we've been putting up here on youtube.com/UltraChenTV. I may use you as a quote on the UltraChenTV Twitter channel as well, as a testimonial on how much people enjoy our channel. I mean, literally since the beginning of March, it's been 2/3 of the way through March, we've put out over 31 videos on our YouTube channel already. We are cranking out the content on our YouTube channel, so hope you guys appreciate that and are enjoying all the stuff that we're putting out on the channel. Also, if you have any feedback on the content that we put out, did you prefer Chen Reaction and First Attack as one video? Do you like it now that I've split this back into 2 videos? Which is your preference? Do you like the fact that on the Grand Blue Fantasy Versus videos, I've been doing all this little tiny editing, and on the First Attacks, I've been super OCD about the editing and cutting out repeated sentences, and cutting out myself saying right and well and etc., etc. as much as I can. That doesn't disrupt the flow. So let me know. And dude, J Ponais, SCWB. I have no. Oh, JP1 is CWB. That's what I'm gonna guess. I would love to play if I can get. I haven't played Breath of the Wild on stream. I haven't played Tekken. I haven't played anything recently that hasn't been fighting game related because I've been doing nothing but editing. I've been going to sleep on average of 6 a.m. every night because I'm up here rendering, and then after I render I have to upload, and then after I upload I have to make sure all stuff is scheduled and ready to go. All that takes time. Usually by the time the cycle is over, the upload finishes at around 3 a.m. And so then I start putting in all the information, and the timestamps take a while. So doing the timestamps for a Chen reaction can take about 15 minutes for me. And so then I'm up until 4, you know, and that's just generally the entire process that I'm going through all the time. So if I can get an editor to do a lot of this work for me, that will free up my nighttime for doing a lot more streams and to play all the random games again. So I'm in talks with certain people about editing, so we will see what happens with that. So, and then I can get back to all the other non-fighting game stuff that I really, really want to do. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. JP1 is CWB. JP, that's what I'm trying to do, JP. I'm trying to hire an intern, basically. Any case, thanks guys for tuning in here for the Chen reaction. We'll be right back here on Twitch for Ask jchensor for a very short period. Actually, we could probably go for a while because following that will be First Attack. If you see this video, definitely check on our YouTube for that episode of First Attack. We're going to be talking about frame advantage on First Attack. We're finally moving past the neutral. Going to be a very short First Attack episodes. The last few First Attacks I've done have gone way longer than I originally intended them to. First Attacks were all supposed to be short 30-minute videos, and then the last one was like 2.5 hours or something. So I kind of messed up. So I'm going to try to dial it back in and go back to the shorter episodes that I intended since the beginning. So in any case, be right back for you guys on Twitch. For those on YouTube, like and subscribe, and let me know how much you are enjoying all the content that we are putting here on youtube.com/UltraChenTV. Thanks, guys, and talk to you guys soon.